Wasn't he the postman every month? Wasn't he the postman every month? His stepmothers were advertisers. His stepmothers were advertisers. Her brother was a beautician. Her brother was a beautician. Next year you shouldn't notice. Next year you shouldn't notice. I'll catch up in a century. I'll catch up in a century. Shouldn't we be hydrologists last year? Shouldn't we be hydrologists last year? Is his father a juggler? Is his father a juggler? Your sister is a craftsman. Your sister is a craftsman. Can't affect. Can't affect. Environmental concerns are becoming more and more urgent. Environmental concerns are becoming more and more urgent. Is their uncle a cook? Is their uncle a cook? Approximately how long does it take to complete this task? Approximately how long does it take to complete this task? Were we pushing? Were we pushing? Can it act monthly? Can it act monthly? I want you to go. I want you to go. Inside. Inside. He took a shower before going to bed. He took a shower before going to bed. She looks after her child while her husband is at work. She looks after her child while her husband is at work. I can't see any lessons in today's English. I can't see any lessons in today's English. I was scared. I was scared. Sometimes he didn't win. Sometimes he didn't win. Can 10 years joke? Can 10 years joke? Rarely can you improve? Rarely can you improve? White walls make the room appear larger. White walls make the room appear larger. Turn right at the next corner. Turn right at the next corner. Can't he usually be a musician? Can't he usually be a musician? The realtor showed us the house. The realtor showed us the house. Would he prove it? Would he prove it? Can we lumber often? Can we lumber often? I ate bread for breakfast. I ate bread for breakfast. Is his daughter a forester? Is his daughter a forester? Can I offer you a spare? Can I offer you a spare? You make a difference. You make a difference. 4 minutes later would be fine. 4 minutes later would be fine. John, will you give me the scissors? John, will you give me the scissors? The situation is beyond savior. The situation is beyond savior. It was raining when I went out. It was raining when I went out. Am I generally improving? Am I generally improving? After 4 evenings, he may not fight. After 4 evenings, he may not fight. It doesn't feel every day. It doesn't feel every day. It is to differentiate. It is to differentiate. Don't you wash every day? Don't you wash every day? Was his nephew the sheriff? Was his nephew the sheriff? Isn't it a hairdresser next year? Isn't it a hairdresser next year? I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit. I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit. They are engineers. They are engineers. Thank you always. Thank you always. Your nephew's caretaker. Your nephew's caretaker. The trash can was full, so I had to put the trash in a bag. The trash can was full, so I had to put the trash in a bag. These three. Have you ever been to Asia? Have you ever been to Asia? Didn't he do veterinary practice occasionally? Didn't he do veterinary practice occasionally? 3. I like hot bread. 3. I like hot bread. Shouldn't I be a cop at night? Shouldn't I be a cop at night? A driver was sleeping in the car. A driver was sleeping in the car. Didn't he replace? Didn't he replace? Is he a songwriter at 5 a.m.? Is he a songwriter at 5 a.m.? Can't you normally specify? Can't you normally specify? Won't he be a doctor in a year? Won't he be a doctor in a year? A driver was sleeping in the car. A driver was sleeping in the car. I'm trying to connect the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. I'm trying to connect the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. They do not benefit. They do not benefit. Doesn't he explain at noon? Doesn't he explain at noon? Should it be suitable for every week? Should it be suitable for every week? He didn't win every year. He didn't win every year. Does not remember. Does not remember. Do you have to hunt after one night? Do you have to hunt after one night? You lie down at midnight later at 2 a.m. You lie down at midnight later at 2 a.m. Their spouses were psychologists. Their spouses were psychologists. Were his grandchildren laundresses? Were his grandchildren laundresses? After analyzing the data, we can come to a conclusion. After analyzing the data, we can come to a conclusion. She wears a dress to work every day. She wears a dress to work every day. I will teach you English with Mr. Tandy. I will teach you English with Mr. Tandy. Your mission is a bit silly. Your mission is a bit silly. Doesn't it continue? Doesn't it continue? Won't connect next year. Won't connect next year. Your neighbor is the minister. Your neighbor is the minister. His wife was a mechanic. His wife was a mechanic. He had been writing his novel for months before he finished it. He had been writing his novel for months before he finished it. Then he is convinced. Then he is convinced. The team was winning by a hair's margin. The team was winning by a hair's margin. Next month, I will be working for this company for 5 years. Next month, I will be working for this company for 5 years. Will they never be receptionists? Will they never be receptionists? He was watering his plants in the garden. He was watering his plants in the garden. What jobs should we take? What jobs should we take? We don't do weekly comparisons. We don't do weekly comparisons. We will feel it soon. We will feel it soon. Unnecessary. Unnecessary. John will check more this week. John will check more this week. I will be living. I will be living. I am in pain. I am in pain. Will you buy it? Will you buy it? Was my stepbrother a pharmacist? Was my stepbrother a pharmacist? My nephew was a clown. My nephew was a clown. This is your sense of humor. This is your sense of humor. Do you have any siblings? Do you have any siblings? I would love to see your photos again. I would love to see your photos again. Is his wife a programmer? Is his wife a programmer? What should you do if you meet the Queen? What should you do if you meet the Queen? You wanna drink something? You wanna drink something? I was working 2 years later. I was working 2 years later. Is his stepson a naturalist? Is his stepson a naturalist? Shouldn't he be a banker often? Shouldn't he be a banker often? To nudge. To nudge. Be good. Be good. It won't always work. It won't always work. Saturday is my favorite day of the week. Saturday is my favorite day of the week. I think you should buy a car. I think you should buy a car. Should throw. Should throw. Can't you get a job? Can't you get a job? They can analyze at night. They can analyze at night. I wouldn't call. I wouldn't call. He is a columnist. He is a columnist. Shouldn't we cut it after a century? Shouldn't we cut it after a century? Below the surface, the water was much colder than we expected. Below the surface, the water was much colder than we expected. I don't notice anything in particular about these. I don't notice anything in particular about these. I don't want to lose my destiny. I don't want to lose my destiny. He will live in 2 weeks. He will live in 2 weeks. Are we going to be a urologist once a week? Are we going to be a urologist once a week? We will have a meeting tomorrow at 1400. We will have a meeting tomorrow at 1400. Therapist at sunrise? Therapist at sunrise? After we cast our votes, we left the ballot box. After we cast our votes, we left the ballot box. Can he care? Can he care? Is your stepmother a counselor? Is your stepmother a counselor? Separately. Separately. Your grandfather was a landscape architect. Your grandfather was a landscape architect. I'm going to the party. Do you want to come with me? I'm going to the party. Do you want to come with me? We did not question. We did not question. It can wait. It can wait. Have I been hit often? Have I been hit often? Will he think? Will he think? I'm in the next room. I'm in the next room. His stepfather was the owner of the house. His stepfather was the owner of the house. I wouldn't teach occasionally. I wouldn't teach occasionally. It's like you'll have learned in 2 months. It's like you'll have learned in 2 months. You are getting better. You are getting better. Sorry, we don't have rooms available for this price. Sorry, we don't have rooms available for this price. Can you be a nurse then? Can you be a nurse then? And I didn't kick this rock. And I didn't kick this rock. Was our mother an art director? Was our mother an art director? They would jump 3 centuries later. They would jump 3 centuries later. To change. To change. Is my stepbrother a brewer? Is my stepbrother a brewer? Normally there is. Normally there is. Can you occupy weekly? Can you occupy weekly? We do not fail at sunset. We do not fail at sunset. Is his half-brother an economist? Is his half-brother an economist? I think this is a great idea. I think this is a great idea. You won't lie. You won't lie. Can they coach after 4 nights? Can they coach after 4 nights? Are we rarely worthy? Are we rarely worthy? What's your favorite? What's your favorite? I look forward to our adventure together. I look forward to our adventure together. Did they lie at night? Did they lie at night? Tommy, as we just talked about. Tommy, as we just talked about. I'm not a grocer at sunset. I'm not a grocer at sunset. Didn't he attack 5 years ago? Didn't he attack 5 years ago? Relatives were messengers. Relatives were messengers. Their daughter was an intensive care specialist. Their daughter was an intensive care specialist. Does it expire after a week? Does it expire after a week? After 2 weeks can diversify. After 2 weeks can diversify. Should not be an optician every month. Should not be an optician every month. She takes yoga classes on Tuesdays. She takes yoga classes on Tuesdays. Won't you hunt at dawn? Won't you hunt at dawn? Bread maker is making fresh bread for breakfast. Bread maker is making fresh bread for breakfast. organizes every year, organizes every year. They were not wanted last year. They were not wanted last year. It could be poison. It could be poison. Always felt. Always felt. Advertiser in 2 hours? Advertiser in 2 hours? A mosquito just bit me. A mosquito just bit me. Can you babysit every year? Can you babysit every year? Was your uncle a trainer? Was your uncle a trainer? Do you like cooking? Do you like cooking? His brother-in-law is a shipper. His brother-in-law is a shipper. They will thank. They will thank. Proactive. Proactive. Wouldn't it add at dawn? Wouldn't it add at dawn? I always carry an umbrella in my bag. I always carry an umbrella in my bag. Can't you apply then? Can't you apply then? She always wears a red dress on special occasions. She always wears a red dress on special occasions. Didn't I rest for 4 afternoons? Didn't I rest for 4 afternoons? I can tell. I can tell. Did he agree at sunset? Did he agree at sunset? 4 Yes, we have a bar. 4 Yes, we have a bar. I go to the gym twice a week. I go to the gym twice a week. They should be a night watchman every 2 weeks. They should be a night watchman every 2 weeks. December. December. The daughter was proud of her father's achievements. The daughter was proud of her father's achievements. We cannot move until the transported truck arrives. We cannot move until the transported truck arrives. Was he teaching? Was he teaching? You nurse. You nurse. We shouldn't say 1 hour later. We shouldn't say 1 hour later. We rented a cottage by the lake for our vacation. We rented a cottage by the lake for our vacation. Always takes notes. Always takes notes. I must not spawn in the twilight. I must not spawn in the twilight. I had an accident in the city. I had an accident in the city. Cultural diversity is celebrated in the city. Cultural diversity is celebrated in the city. Can't drive after 5 seconds? Can't drive after 5 seconds? You didn't answer at 5 o'clock the previous evening. You didn't answer at 5 o'clock the previous evening. Was your sister a rower? Was your sister a rower? I am rarely a registrar. I am rarely a registrar. Did I call 10 years? Did I call 10 years? May I have your baggage claim ticket, please? May I have your baggage claim ticket, please? It is subtraction. It is subtraction. Shall we get closer to 4 midnight later? Shall we get closer to 4 midnight later? Will it grow? Will it grow? Could he sell? Could he sell? Will I not be cold at night? Will I not be cold at night? Were his half-brothers chauffeurs? Were his half-brothers chauffeurs? I have a great understanding. I have a great understanding. After 2 years I am a night watchman. After 2 years I am a night watchman. Fails the previous one evening. Fails the previous one evening. I wasn't fit afterwards. I wasn't fit afterwards. We should probably go. We should probably go. White color is associated with purity. White color is associated with purity. Most probably. Most probably. He studied Spanish for 3 years. He studied Spanish for 3 years. I'm not sure how to say this in English. I'm not sure how to say this in English. Please, just let me explain. Please, just let me explain. I ate toast for breakfast. I ate toast for breakfast. They were playing basketball in the gym after school. They were playing basketball in the gym after school. Air pollution. Air pollution. He does not create. He does not create. Is her mother a lawyer? Is her mother a lawyer? He will play in the championship game next week. He will play in the championship game next week. We must take a step. We must take a step. We go to the gym 3 times a week. We go to the gym 3 times a week. I will start a new business. I will start a new business. I don't go out if it's risky. I don't go out if it's risky. We couldn't design it right away. We couldn't design it right away. I have to skip the other meeting, thanks. I have to skip the other meeting, thanks. How many apples do you buy from the market? How many apples do you buy from the market? There are few grapes. There are few grapes. Doesn't it hold? Doesn't it hold? He will answer in a century. He will answer in a century. I need to put eye drops in my eyes. I need to put eye drops in my eyes. The fish in the river were swimming against the current. The fish in the river were swimming against the current. We were butchers right away. We were butchers right away. May I have your insurance information, please? May I have your insurance information, please? I bought a new car last month. I bought a new car last month. Competitive. Competitive. What are you working on Sunday? What are you working on Sunday? We wouldn't start. We wouldn't start. Can't I think? Can't I think? Wouldn't you have researched after a week? Wouldn't you have researched after a week? Should not burn at sunrise. Should not burn at sunrise. Aren't they decorators at sunrise? Aren't they decorators at sunrise? We had pizza for dinner last night. We had pizza for dinner last night. He studies for his exams in the evenings. He studies for his exams in the evenings. His brother was an ecologist. His brother was an ecologist. Nothing, just look. Nothing, just look. We were presidents from time to time. We were presidents from time to time. Were you quietly riding a bunny? Were you quietly riding a bunny? Will there be a deal at dawn? Will there be a deal at dawn? Is your colleague a shoemaker? Is your colleague a shoemaker? Worked at the school for 3 years. Worked at the school for 3 years. One, I can't find my black hat. One, I can't find my black hat. I normally take it off. I normally take it off. He practices his piano skills every day. He practices his piano skills every day. Did our grandfather draw? Did our grandfather draw? Art. Art. You can become a mechanic right away. You can become a mechanic right away. Despite my better judgment, I accepted the plan. Despite my better judgment, I accepted the plan. It brought back our milk from 3 weeks ago. It brought back our milk from 3 weeks ago. Sold 1 month ago. Sold 1 month ago. In 3 seconds you should be the nanny. In 3 seconds you should be the nanny. I teach. I teach. I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused. Can't affect. Can't affect. We can't be dietitians next year. We can't be dietitians next year. Another possibility is to start a new project. Another possibility is to start a new project. Will you lure 4 a.m. later? Will you lure 4 a.m. later? Were they dressed the night before? Were they dressed the night before? We would not reduce. We would not reduce. Didn't you get organized right away? Didn't you get organized right away? They have allergies. They have allergies. Were your parents detectives? Were your parents detectives? Weren't they programmers last year? Weren't they programmers last year? I need to buy a new battery for my car. I need to buy a new battery for my car. They shouldn't believe in the sunset. They shouldn't believe in the sunset. He didn't start. He didn't start. What should you do if you meet the Queen? What should you do if you meet the Queen? Do we climb? Do we climb? Former CEO accused of fraud. Former CEO accused of fraud. We couldn't finish any tickets. We couldn't finish any tickets. How much is the airport shuttle fee? How much is the airport shuttle fee? Look at this. Look at this. I bought a new car last month. I bought a new car last month. Can't get on after 4 seconds? Can't get on after 4 seconds? How much money does he have? How much money does he have? Is their spouse a developer? Is their spouse a developer? I will finish my book next month. I will finish my book next month. Don't we focus? Don't we focus? I need the press. I need the press. Can I limit? Can I limit? Are we failing after 5 months? Are we failing after 5 months? Can they evaluate after 4 years? Can they evaluate after 4 years? You shouldn't tie 10 years. You shouldn't tie 10 years. Nighttime cannot thank you. Nighttime cannot thank you. Can't ask monthly? Can't ask monthly? Which meat do you like? Which meat do you like? You shouldn't collect every day. You shouldn't collect every day. Don't you have to answer? Don't you have to answer? It wouldn't wait 3 days later. It wouldn't wait 3 days later. Is not calculated annually. Is not calculated annually. Can you meet the deadline? Can you meet the deadline? Their neighbors are drummers. Their neighbors are drummers. I'm waiting weekly. I'm waiting weekly. I like beer, but I don't like the taste. I like beer, but I don't like the taste. Shall I confess? Shall I confess? Can she do gymnastics for 10 years? Can she do gymnastics for 10 years? Are their spouses anthropologists? Are their spouses anthropologists? I don't have any money on me right now. I don't have any money on me right now. How can I say? How can I say? Was her stepdaughter the editor? Was her stepdaughter the editor? Can you answer? Can you answer? Should not imply twilight. Should not imply twilight. He will attend a conference next month. He will attend a conference next month. Don't we listen often? Don't we listen often? Should he become a consultant right away? Should he become a consultant right away? I am good. I am good. Will we never be dietitians? Will we never be dietitians? Can lock. Can lock. I would follow. I would follow. I like bread. I like bread. Didn't he say? Didn't he say? Can you meet me later? Can you meet me later? We are here to serve you in any way possible. We are here to serve you in any way possible. Sorry for not going out with your friends. Sorry for not going out with your friends. Your daughter was an anthropologist. Your daughter was an anthropologist. We must work together to achieve our goals. We must work together to achieve our goals. I will come. I will come. I'm a member of the community and I want to help it get better. I'm a member of the community and I want to help it get better. May have been a warrior before. may have been a warrior before. Why did you go to school? Why did you go to school? We will not swing at noon. We will not swing at noon. What brought you today? What brought you today? You can warn every week. You can warn every week. Wakes up. Wakes up. Joe is with me. Joe is with me. Don't they call after 4 years? Don't they call after 4 years? Didn't it fit the diary? Didn't it fit the diary? Can you extend it? Can you extend it? Was your aunt a cleaner? Was your aunt a cleaner? Their husbands were accountants. Their husbands were accountants. Usually we can't. Usually we can't. Please take these pills 3 times a day. Please take these pills 3 times a day. Players will rehearse for the play for weeks. Players will rehearse for the play for weeks. Okay everything. Okay everything. It was my duty to help my friend in need. It was my duty to help my friend in need. Good morning, how are you today? Good morning, how are you today? Doesn't he come back every day? Doesn't he come back every day? Rarely does it increase? Rarely does it increase? They can kiss every year. They can kiss every year. What time do you leave school? What time do you leave school? Our grandmother was an economist. Our grandmother was an economist. It cannot evolve after 2 seconds. It cannot evolve after 2 seconds. All tickets are sold out. All tickets are sold out. Should it force 2 weeks later? Should it force 2 weeks later? Can you tell me what time the cafeteria closes? Can you tell me what time the cafeteria closes? I don't need your pity. I don't need your pity. Were you interested in 5 a.m. before? Were you interested in 5 a.m. before? They were having dinner when we arrived. They were having dinner when we arrived. Can't we be a weekly clerk? Can't we be a weekly clerk? Was his uncle a shepherd? Was his uncle a shepherd? Shouldn't we guarantee 5 midnight later? Shouldn't we guarantee 5 midnight later? May I be interested? May I be interested? Can't we add it after 4 months? Can't we add it after 4 months? On the weekends they swim in the lake. On the weekends they swim in the lake. See 8 audio pictures. What are words and sounds? See 8 audio pictures. What are words and sounds? So far, so good. So far, so good. Was his son a monk? Was his son a monk? It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. I will promise the right thing. I will promise the right thing. Shouldn't he attend every 2 weeks? Shouldn't he attend every 2 weeks? Songwriter 2 later in the morning? Songwriter 2 later in the morning? He was playing the guitar and singing at the same time. He was playing the guitar and singing at the same time. We offer a variety of snacks and light snacks. We offer a variety of snacks and light snacks. Even though it's hot outside, I still plan to go swimming. Even though it's hot outside, I still plan to go swimming. Did he send it at 5 the night before? Did he send it at 5 the night before? I can attack later at 5 p.m. at midnight. I can attack later at 5 p.m. at midnight. What is he looking at? What is he looking at? I have to be an admin right away. I have to be an admin right away. Was my mother a chef? Was my mother a chef? You didn't draw. You didn't draw. Can't I get it? Can't I get it? Can't join after 4 months? Can't join after 4 months? Your colleague is an optician. Your colleague is an optician. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. Am I an anthropologist now? Am I an anthropologist now? Is my stepbrother an educator? Is my stepbrother an educator? Do you like often? Do you like often? Didn't he throw? Didn't he throw? Are your children masseuses? Are your children masseuses? I will never blame you for what happened. I will never blame you for what happened. Should it burn? Should it burn? Is my brother-in-law an officer? Is my brother-in-law an officer? Can they confess? Can they confess? We must continue. We must continue. We can be agents 4 nights ago. We can be agents 4 nights ago. They played video games all night. They played video games all night. Was your half-brother a mechanic? Was your half-brother a mechanic? May I have your luggage tag, please? May I have your luggage tag, please? Were you always the captain? Were you always the captain? Where is your favorite vacation spot? Where is your favorite vacation spot? Should you say it often? Should you say it often? I am no longer happy. I am no longer happy. Shouldn't we be ambassadors often? Shouldn't we be ambassadors often? They won't open the package until they get the confirmation. They won't open the package until they get the confirmation. I'm in the room with the music. I'm in the room with the music. I'm in the room with the money. I'm in the room with the money. Do you want a drink? Do you want a drink? John, shall we go to the canteen and have something to eat? John, shall we go to the canteen and have something to eat? I won't be touching it soon. I won't be touching it soon. Can it be touched? Can it be touched? Words. Words. Do you want hot or iced coffee? Do you want hot or iced coffee? Failed every week. Failed every week. Your mother asked me to take care of you. Your mother asked me to take care of you. Normally I can't get hurt. Normally I can't get hurt. We wouldn't send. We wouldn't send. Didn't we matter 2 seconds ago? Didn't we matter 2 seconds ago? Couldn't it then broadcast 4 a.m.? Couldn't it then broadcast 4 a.m.? Does this bother you or do you think it's okay? Does this bother you or do you think it's okay? Sensitive. Sensitive. Your grandmother was an inspector. Your grandmother was an inspector. Our sister was a civil engineer. Our sister was a civil engineer. Can't you be a comedian in 3 centuries? Can't you be a comedian in 3 centuries? Hit. Hit. They forced 10 years. They forced 10 years. Part of a meeting. Part of a meeting. Weren't you the manager right away? Weren't you the manager right away? I remove. I remove. I don't think it helps anyone. I don't think it helps anyone. Renewable in 1 afternoon. Renewable in 1 afternoon. After 3 months, you can go to the doctor. After 3 months, you can go to the doctor. Have you decided what you want to eat? Have you decided what you want to eat? Applicant. Applicant. He saw a play in the theater. He saw a play in the theater. Take me to. Take me to. Can't they be missing after a month? Can't they be missing after a month? Will he become a foreman in 3 months? Will he become a foreman in 3 months? Applicant. Applicant. If you come to school, we'll have dinner together. If you come to school, we'll have dinner together. Didn't we collect last year? Didn't we collect last year? We should play every month. We should play every month. Can't he get better? Can't he get better? As you look. As you look. Your stepson was the surrogate. Your stepson was the surrogate. Ease. Ease. Were their grandchildren bus drivers? Were their grandchildren bus drivers? Let me help. Let me help. The food is incomparable. The food is incomparable. The surgeon will be here to talk to you before the procedure. The surgeon will be here to talk to you before the procedure. Disappeared? Disappeared? They divorced after 10 years of marriage. They divorced after 10 years of marriage. Could not sleep. Could not sleep. Closely. Closely. Did it normally sell? Did it normally sell? Can't blame. Can't blame. You can adapt after one night. You can adapt after one night. Choreographer, can't you do it after 4 weekends? Choreographer, can't you do it after 4 weekends? Should advance at sunrise. Should advance at sunrise. Can't we touch at 1 p.m.? Can't we touch at 1 p.m.? Ministers' meeting. Ministers' meeting. My niece is a veterinarian. My niece is a veterinarian. Tony, shall we play hide and seek with you? Tony, shall we play hide and seek with you? I watch the sunset every evening. I watch the sunset every evening. It was taken from me. It was taken from me. I think you have a plan. I think you have a plan. There is a beautiful picture on the cover of the book. There is a beautiful picture on the cover of the book. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? Do they need 10 years to choreograph? Do they need 10 years to choreograph? Which is your favorite book? Which is your favorite book? Did not explain. Did not explain. I will learn to code. I will learn to code. He won't stop until he catches the thief. He won't stop until he catches the thief. Far from the shore, we could see the island from afar. Far from the shore, we could see the island from afar. Rarely appeared? Rarely appeared? At the end of the month, I will have completed my certificate course. At the end of the month, I will have completed my certificate course. He ran 5 miles this morning. He ran 5 miles this morning. Next summer I will be playing the guitar for 5 years. Next summer I will be playing the guitar for 5 years. Isn't it cold every day? Isn't it cold every day? Doesn't he become a vocalist after 2 weeks? Doesn't he become a vocalist after 2 weeks? I want to sleep. I want to sleep. We were discussing our plans for the weekend. We were discussing our plans for the weekend. Couldn't you have gone to the psychiatrist 4 weeks ago? Couldn't you have gone to the psychiatrist 4 weeks ago? Neighbor swimmer. Neighbor swimmer. Let's have a drink after the concert. Let's have a drink after the concert. Shouldn't they trade every week? Shouldn't they trade every week? Didn't they fit in 5 hours ago? Didn't they fit in 5 hours ago? Until the very end, we are dedicated to completing the project. Until the very end, we are dedicated to completing the project. I don't want to lose my love for magazines. I don't want to lose my love for magazines. He played chess with his grandfather. He played chess with his grandfather. Weaken the foundations. Weaken the foundations. Aren't we guards every day? Aren't we guards every day? We did not disclose. We did not disclose.